There's finally a light at the end of the tunnel. Find out what I'm talking about as I hereby summon all my imps to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So, what in the world am I talking about? What in the world did I have any kind of clue or hint on? So, I go through and I look at a lot of Marvel Snap stuff, way more Marvel Snap stuff than anybody should have the right to do. And in one of the most recent Q&As that they did with Marvel Snap, there was a Q&A that got posted, and I think it needs to be talked about a little bit more than it's had any discussion of so far. So here's the question and the answer. So the question was, when will we get an update on series drops? And the answer was, we will share more information on series drops before the end of the year. This is huge news for Marvel Snap. They finally have given us something more than just, we'll let you know when we know. And while this isn't something to put out confetti for and throw a parade for just yet, because it still doesn't give us any true information, it at least gives us a hope that for the end of the year we'll get some information on this. So the odds are that we might see some series drops either in January, but most likely February. And the only reason I'm going to say February is because of the fact that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Marvel Snap said that before they would ever do series drops, they basically let us know about 6 weeks ahead of time. So there's not really enough time for the December, because December's coming less than 6 weeks away. And if they were going to do even January, they might announce it here about what they're doing in January. So I'm thinking possibly February for series drops to happen. Now, I really hope that they pull through on the series drops and that they go back to a card a month or 2 cards a month or 3 cards a month. And I really hope that the cards that were meant to drop. The last thing that I want to see happen is that certain cards that say from Series 4. There's some cards that were already meant to drop, like, for example, No was meant to drop a long time ago, and I'd like to see if Darkhawk finally got pulled out of his range. I really hope that they're not just going to bring the low tier cards down and leave the high tier cards up. This also kind of does bring up the whole conversation of Howard the Duck, because Howard the Duck is coming up recently in the future, near in the future, I should say, in a serious cash. And do you want to blow a serious cash on something like Howard the Duck, knowing that serious drops are going to happen down the road? The biggest concern is that we've got some stuff that's already coming down the pipeline, and I would hate to see Howard the Duck not be brought down in series because he's not that good of a card. Although I still have a feeling, an inkling that he's going to get buffed in the next patch that we see, because he's coming up in the Spotlight cache, and because of what's coming up in the Spotlight cache, if we're getting this particular week, and we're getting it tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting it tomorrow to see Spider-Man 2099 get something happen to him. And Jean Grey have something happen to her, but I don't think we're getting a OTA patch tomorrow. I think we're getting it on Thursday, and I think that's the last OTA patch until the new year. If all my sources are correct. So I'd like to see something happen to some of these cards. I'd like to see Howard the Duck get better. I think they might make him better because they know he's coming up in a Spotlight Cash. If not, I am not sure if he's going to be brought down if they do series drops, because of how recently he came in a Spotlight Cash and how rare it was to see him in a Spotlight Cash. And to me, that would be a very bad move on Marvel Snap choices, because he's not that good of a card unless they change him basically in the next OTA, which I think they might do because he's coming up in Spotlight Caches. So, good news is there is an announcement of an announcement that there will be news on the Spotlight Caches and what's happening to them before the end of the year. Bad news is we don't know what's coming down, if anything's coming down. If they're just going to say we're done with Spotlight Caches, we don't need them anymore, stop asking about them. If they're going to say we're only going to do them once a quarter as a big drop to make it more exciting and not do them every single month, I have no idea about any of that. I have no idea if they're going to start dropping some of the Series 4 stuff that's powerful, like Darkhawk Down. I have no idea if they're going to do any of this. It's just that now there's actually some movement on the series drop path. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, remember, play for fun.